But you're playing. I mean, you play for University of Georgia. You play with some of the best.
Champ Bailey just walked into the Hall of Fame.
Right. I mean, that's like and like.
I think he's the number 2 cover of all time.
Deion. I mean, I grew up in D.C. Champ Bailey is. You know what I mean?
I would say Deion, the greatest cover guy of all time. Champ is number 2. That's crazy to say, and he's one of my dearest friends. He's as close to me as you, and has never lost the same. We are as Velcroed as we once were on a college campus.
Like, how would you describe like your college football career?
I would say that it was always full of. It's so similar to my freaking acting career. Bernie is crazy. I always hear a phenomenal strong side corner named Robert Edwards, who of course you know to be a running back who ended up playing with me, who was drafted, I think the top 5 pick in the league, maybe number 2. Robert Edwards starts to break all these records that were held by Garrison Hurst prior, some of the records. Terrell Davis was there with us. As you know, he went to the Hall of Fame. But Robert Edwards was moved from strong corner to running back because University of Georgia needed one. Hines Ward played wingback at times and, of course, quarterback. Hines will go, of course, to the Hall of Fame. Richard Seymour, of course, just went to the Hall of Fame. But Robert Edwards, the career smells like this to me, to answer your question. Robert Edwards would always say, Omari should be starting. He should be starting, guys. For him to have to say that with that tone of voice to himself, or to his voice, with that tone of voice coming out of him, and also the look on his face, he would go, guys, because he was highly touted. And I was recruited by Georgia, but didn't go to Georgia. So then I ended up transferring to the University of Georgia. In the transfer, now you got politics at play. Because now the politics, Bernard, but you didn't come here. Now you all of a sudden want to come and play? So coaches do a lot of that bullshit, bro. And Robert Edwards used to say, he should be starting, guys. And I look at my football career as that. Whereas, Bern, I never was able to get up to the place or level that I absolutely felt I was garnered to be able to be at, or that my efforts had garnered me being at, or whatever my skill set.
What was your skill set? How do you describe yourself as a football player? What were your strengths?
Very fast, very strong, can jump high. If I'm 6'1", with my speed, with my ability to jump, and with my strength, I definitely think that God wanted me to play artist as an actor, even though athletes are artists. But I think I'm there for at least 5 to 6 to 7 seasons, if it's that. Because it's not that, and I'm vertically impaired. I'm not Champ 6'1" stature, but I'm equally as ready to knock somebody out. I teased Deion. I said, Deion, you know you were a booty tackler. You would stick that ass out to tackle.
Yeah.
On his podcast, I said, Deion, you put that ass out. Which made, of course, for a nice moment of a joke, but in reality, Deion knows my gifts in life were not that of, as a football player, that of a tackler. He also is probably equal to Bo Jackson, one of the top 5 athletes that God has ever made in the last 100 years. Let's throw Jim Thorpe in.
Sure.
You know, if you count what you and I do as an actor, then let's throw Paul Robeson in. This phenomenal actor meets athlete of, high level. But when you think about the level of what it takes to be a great corner, my favorite overall, obviously Deion is special. Obviously Ronnie Lott is special. But my favorite overall, when I say his name, it will also ring true for you to think about how I saw myself as a cornerback. Running back in high school, but more as a corner. And it's, of course, not Charles Woodson, who's a dear friend, but Rod Woodson from the Steelers. Because as you know, Rod would go from free safety on one week to cover corner on another week to not only strong corner, but cover corner, covering your flanker. And then he turned to strong safety, which is damn near miniature linebacker. Well, depending on the game, Bern, they put me at 5'9.5", 5'10". They would put me at strong safety. At the time, 198 to 205 pounds.
Wow.
But really built more like a cover corner.
Wow.
And not just a strong corner, more of a cover corner.
Right.
But then I go to strong safety. Never played free safety. But I kind of was moved all around the defensive backfield. So I look at Rod Woodson, and I think a lot of what I saw myself as was him. He always was all over the place. Palulamu not, right? He played for Pittsburgh, strong safety.
Yep.
Ronnie Lott, free safety.
Yep.
Deion, cover corner. Took off half of the field. Of course, Champ Bailey, cover corner. Darrell Green, another guy from your world.
Straight up.
To me, top 5 defensive back of all time at 5'8".
Yeah.
Darrell Green, cover corner. Still a 4.340 during an era when nobody was running a 4.340.
But you're up there. I mean, these are all. I mean, you're up there at the
I
most.
think
of
my
elite
ability
levels.
was way high, and I think Champ and Ron, his brother, think the same thing. They always see me as a very talented defensive back. I think the guys at Furman University, where I transferred from to go to Georgia, Furman played against Marshall. Marshall had, of course, the second greatest receiver of all time, that being Randy Moss. And then Coach Donnan from Marshall came to Georgia, as you know, to coach after Ray Goff left. So I had ironically Randy Moss's coach come to Georgia.
Could you be doing what you're doing now if you didn't play football?
No.
Why come?
Because the pain of not getting to that level that I really, really wanted to get to as a football player, I've inserted or injected in this acting shit.
When did that decision come? Like, when did you know, okay, I'm going to put it towards acting?
It was immediate. I was probably 4 months away from it, 3 months removed from it, and walked on a 3.5 kilometer AIDS walk in Atlanta with Ma. And I remember turning to her and saying, I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to pursue acting.
Wow.
Unapologetically. I'm going to New York. I am very afraid that Pops won't be down with that. Why? Because I think he thinks I still got football left in me. Because I carried that mentality. So, Bern, even if I physically wasn't as gifted as Champ Bailey, which I am nowhere as gifted as him, I'm definitely as gifted as some of the DBs in the league. Champ's another level. That was a gift for him. But Champ is a UNI in the sense that he's aware that his purpose was so much bigger than that.
Okay, so once you make that choice and you say, okay, I'm gonna switch this, and this is gonna be my focus.
I went and talked to Pops about 3 weeks later after Ma said, give him a shot. And as soon as I talked to him, he was watching an old Western. And I remember walking up to his room and talking to him, and he said, yeah, when you want to go? It was pretty amazing to me because I did not expect that. And
Why?
I remember my mom saying, give him a shot.
The people I was playing with didn't become the best in the in the World Hall of Fame. You're right there, and you saying, hey, I'm going to start this other thing, and I'm starting, as you and I both know, when you start in this thing, you start below the basement. I mean, there's most likely it's not going to work out for you.
3 men. Terrell Davis, Travis Stroud, Robert Edwards. Not Champ, not Ron, not Hines. 3 men. Travis Stroud, who played for a little bit. Robert Edwards, who tore his knee in the rookie All-Star game on the sand in Hawaii.
Oh, fuck.
He was up for the SB Player Comeback Story of the Year when Dolphins took him, but he was never the same. Robert Edwards was probably I think he was the second or third pick overall. Somebody should Google that. When did Robert Edwards get drafted? We should Google that. Robert Edwards, Terrell Davis, and Travis Stroud. Bern, when I would do those around the campus, University of Georgia, College Town, Athens, Georgia, as you know, when I would do those readings, the poetry readings on set, or when I started that last year doing theater, and introduced first and foremost was August Wilson, the playwright. And I found home like I did with you. When I saw Piano Lesson and I saw Fences, I was gone.
Something happened inside of you. You said, this is what I'm put on this
But
earth
they
to do.
came to the plays.
Yep.
Or they heard the poetry readings.
Isn't that crazy?
And Bern, when they heard it and watched the plays, those 3 in particular said, if this football shit don't work out, and you can fill in the blank. Bern, I probably have never on an interview been able to say those 3 names. When Travis Stroud, Robert Edwards, and Terrell Davis, who, as y'all know, John Elway doesn't have any rings without Terrell Davis in the backfield. Those 3 said, nigga, if this, nigga, you got some shit. And Bern, maybe, and it might have been innate or subconscious in the sense that while walking on an AIDS walk with Ma,
what did they see you do? Oh,
I would spit poetry, and
Yeah.
they didn't know how to articulate it.
Yeah.
They would ask me oftentimes,
When you spit poetry, was it the words? Was it the delivery? Was it the whole thing? Was
maybe
it the
the passion,
experience?
maybe the passion.
And where was that coming from?
I think that's your point about, like, maybe a football player is never granted the opportunity. First and foremost, we know this to be the case. If Kaepernick is talking about the fact that the football league versus the other professional leagues come off as a slave system, Bernthal, I can speak to that. And Roger Goodell asked me to come to the Super Bowl about 4 Super Bowls ago when Champ went in.
Yeah.
It seems like pre-COVID, about 4 Christmas ago,
Yeah.
4 Super Bowls ago, sorry. And I did go to the Super Bowl. And Roger asked us to be in the thing. And a lot of times the NFL will want me to be a part because they know I'm connected to the NFL and they know that they need to restructure their branding of the NFL. And they also need mentors in the NFL. So I've taken on individual mentorship from Saquon, to Emmanuel Sanders, to Odell Beckham, who thinks a lot like you and I, he'll say shit like, oh, I got so much shit in me. I just got to figure out how to get it all out. I'm like, I hear you. So, Bern, it's probably that last comment, that the latter that would have come from an Odell who thinks like that. How do you get it all out? Saquon, first time I'm around Saquon, supposed to be one of the greatest running backs ever coming out of college, right? You know what Saquon came out of Penn State stating when he became a Giant? When we were around each other, night one, Saquon said, but what's my purpose, oh? Oh, why am I on this earth? Mm-hmm. I said, damn, this dude is deep. Bern, it doesn't mean that the league doesn't have other Saquons. They don't. He's special. But what it also doesn't mean is that it doesn't mean that even when you go to a league, that you're set up for someone to see you as special. Mm-hmm. There's nothing greater, as you know. Women can say all day, oh my God, Jon Bernthal is so sexy, such a beautiful guy. Bern and Omari are not raised to hear that. Yeah. Bern and Omari are raised to see these 5 men say, I rock with you.
I fuck with you.
That's how we're raised.
Yeah.
So football made sense for me because the other sports, it's not as many people called teammate to fuck with you. So part of my mentality is not only raised with all boys. Shawnee was the lone sister, like you're raising. Your boys got a lone sister. But also football afforded me the most brothers. That was innate and natural for me. That felt comfortable. And so in reality, man, I think Terrell and Travis and Robert were about, yo, I don't know how to articulate it, but I'm affected by what you're doing, dog.
You saw that it was real.
I'm affected.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't really, they might have been my first audience as an actor.
Wow.
Like, whatever that is, oh, do that shit.
Wow.
I don't know if you can affect as many people running up and down a football field. It did so much for me, bro.
I'm going to get a workout in a little bit with my man Eric Linden, stunt coordinator from The Punisher. He's coming all the way up because we're about to get after it. And when that's done, he asked me in the car, are you going to have my shake ready? And I know what that means. Am I going to have my Sun Warrior shake? They've got the active protein, but they also have this collagen protein, which is amazing. They also have the Warrior blend, which is a little bit lighter if you're trying to cut. And I believe in it. I believe in that Sun Warrior stuff. Go to www.sunwarrior.com/real ones for 15% off. I appreciate y'all.